All right, let's try this again. I'm going to give a little bit of an update regarding the situation stream. I didn't tell these people off, so I can still go back over there. And that's one of the things I like about myself. I'm very methodical in how I plan to go about things. And because I didn't explicitly shut the door on returning, I can reemerge in that same area, even if it's not my preferred circumstance based off of what I said a few days ago. But, I knew from the lack of support I get from subs just on views alone that I couldn't get them to actually, back me in any financial capacity, and that was very much validated by a few days ago. But again, fortunately, I'm not someone who uh, places a high premium on the involvement of internet people. So, it didn't end up screwing me up too badly, or at least I wasn't surprised by the outcome, so I planned ahead for the circumstance or the experience or the thing that happened a few days ago. Anyways, depending on what happens in this upcoming week, I intend to do a probably 30 or 40-minute video on this character that has been getting on my nerves as of late, who feels a need to. It's kind of like this. They go in cycles. Yes, Elliot. They go in cycles. They for a few days they're talking. Hey, how you doing? What's up? Blah, 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 blah. And then out of nowhere they'll schedule to speak to you, or rather they'll schedule to speak with you, and then out of nowhere they just all of a sudden cut it off, and disappear for about a week or two. Then they come back apologizing for what they've done, to restart speaking to you again, and then a few weeks later they do it again. Just it goes in a loop. And what was really funny is this person had actually tried to. They're the one who initiated this interaction, who started the communication that we have. So imagine my surprise when they seemingly were going out of their way to sabotage it. It's just, oh, well, I don't think we should speak anymore. It's like, but idiot, you're the person who decided this should be the thing, like, this would even exist in the first place. No, Elliot, they're still not as offensive as the actual person this stream is in reference to. A couple of months ago, or rather about maybe halfway through this year, earlier part of this year, I was trying, and I still am trying to do it. It's a little voice project that's separate from my main thing. And I was looking for voice actors for it. I managed to find this one person. I explained to them that it takes a while for me to do one of these. And I looked through, because the last time we actually spoke was back in, I think, July or June, some like the summer, right? But it was a cordial interaction where I updated the person on the project. I said, hey, this is going this way because of blah, 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 right? So I log into my account on Discord a few days ago, and I noticed that they're no longer on my friend list. And I'm kind of almost in a disbelief over this because I know I didn't unfriend him, and I figure at worst maybe there's some kind of glitch on Discord where people are being kicked off each other's friends list, because I genuinely, in knowing or at least in remembering fondly my interactions with this person, can't possibly fathom the idea that they would have unfriended me on purpose, or with some kind of malicious position. So I send them another friend request, and I asked them in the message, I go, hey, what happened? How come you unfriended me? Did I do something wrong? Just out of curiosity. About almost a week goes, actually, yeah, a week went by, because this was the 6th or the 7th, one of those 2 days, and today's the 14th, respectively. So I go and look and see that they still haven't accepted my thing. I try to send them another one because maybe the first one didn't go through or whatever, or they haven't logged in. We could, people, this is a person I didn't speak to every day, so it's very possible that they're doing other things to where they can't be on here every day. The message says it failed to send or something, which is weird because it didn't do that the previous week. And then I go on the website where me and this person met, which basically tells on them. It shows you when people are online, which they're not online, but it shows you that they've been online because they've been posting stuff since then. I say to myself, oh my God, And I realized, I said, like, it's almost like one of those like movie moments where where the film just shows some climactic thing. This person who had no problem with me, no issue with interacting with me whatsoever, again, based off of our messages, unless they're a really good actor, woke up one day between July and this month and decided to unfriend me, to cut off all communications, to completely detach themselves from a project that I was slaving over for months. And I have to say, in the brief, maybe 10 minutes between realizing that and then trying to stream about this earlier, I was sitting there in a little profanity laced rant. I didn't actually curse anybody out or anything, but I just thought to myself, a lot of times I've mentioned that because people will try to accuse me of always placing the blame on the other person, but I said it's very difficult for me from an objective standpoint to look at an interaction where you've got the person. I mean, my last comment that I sent them, they had what's the emoji? You know, the like heart emoji or the like some kind of approval emoji. They had put that on my last comment to them on that website. It's very weird for me to look at an interaction like that and say, "Oh, I messed up because I said something that pissed them off," when everything seemed to have gone fine or decent or whatever leading up to that. Um, it's more so when that happens, I have to say it's more so having to do with the person just deciding to cut me off for whatever reason that they come up with. And I've told you a lot of times, as the individual who's getting cut off, you get blamed for whatever internal crap that person has in their mind. This voice actor could have literally said, I no longer want to do voice work just cause. And I would get blamed for it. I would be told that my thing wasn't appealing enough. I'd be told that I was strenuous on it. And these are people who, don't even know anything about what happened. I actually wrote out several scripts ahead of the last one they recorded for, and I didn't send it to them because I didn't think it was right for this person to record all this stuff, and then for me not to know for sure if I was gonna, actually do it or not. But I'll still get told that I was somehow unattentive to this person's needs and all that other trash that people write to smear whatever position I have. This sounds like a story you've already said in the past with an old school friend who was just sitting on his hands when you make the effort to talk. Yeah, but I mean, the thing about that person was they didn't directly do anything to indicate they weren't interested in interacting. They didn't block me on any websites. They didn't, this is like a backhand. It's almost like, and I made a comparison before. It's like being thrown out the trash by somebody because they don't have enough balls to just say, I'm not interested in interacting with you anymore. They have to unfriend you and make it to where you can't contact them anymore. And this just really pisses me off. And I'm so tired of talking and interacting with voice actors and treating them like people when they do cowardly, weird stuff like this, where, because remember, at worst, I'm just a person online. I don't have any kind of direct bearing on these people's lives, but they've actually, in some cases, acted like I'm some kind of you know, fearful deity. Like I had this one person about 3 years ago, recorded about 7, 8 different scripts, and then all of a sudden they stop. And I noticed they're active on this website. Say, hey, are you gonna come back to this, whatever? They go, oh, I don't want to do it anymore. It's like, well, you could have just told me, and then I could have spent that time looking for another person instead of waiting for your uh, inconsistent, disrespectful self to come and say that. You think it's so easy, I guess I'm just used to when you sign up for something actually doing it, or if you're not going to do it, telling the person that you're doing it with that you're not interested anymore. I'm not used to a little cowardly hide in the bushes. Is he going yet? Thing that these people do. And it's I've said before that a lot of times when people will accuse me of, let's say, uh, speaking in some diminishing manner of how people interact, where, they'll say, oh, well, you're trying to make this voice actor sound like they're not good or whatever. I said, no, um, I can respect talent. I can say that this person's voice sounds better than what I can do or somebody else can do. But if talent is not used, then what good is it? It was the same thing with the broad I mentioned a few days ago that has been like acting so damn erratic and weird where every couple of weeks you got to take a week or two hiatus and then come back and go, oh, well, I personally think, blah, 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 blah. It, that person, when I spoke to them, sure, was decent or good or fun to interact with. But if they're not using the potential to interact in that same capacity for the most part and just being this flaky bastard for the majority of it, the juice is not worth the squeeze. It's the same thing with the voice actors. I will readily admit that you could probably go on any one of these websites where they go around and ask people, do they want to record for this and all that, and I'd probably be able to say that 99% of the people on those sites sound better than I do, can do a better job, but they're not committed to anything. And I'm sorry, but my little opinion of this group has come from dealing with them now for 3 years, and watching them quit abruptly or just decide that they're not going to do something. I have one of them who, uh, for 3 months, sat on a script that I sent them because I wasn't immediately, or at least as far as they knew, immediately working on it. And this is from March to June. They have this script that it just sits in their email. They just won't record it. And it was the craziest thing in the world to me because it literally took me a shorter amount of time to do the whole damn project for both of those than for them to record that. And every person I told about that said, get rid of them, throw them away, fire them, replace them. And I said, I would if I could. But, I unfortunately have to work with what I've been given because other people will not accept that role. And I'm kind of just stuck with this anchor who won't, record anything with any objective speed. And I said, look, I'll give people extensions. I'll tell them if you can't make it this week, do it next week, week after that. But I'm sorry, when you purposely don't want to record something because you don't feel like you should or you have to, and you're given month after month to do it, I'm gonna say get lost. Like right now, the only reason I don't try to get rid of that person is because currently they're not at the well, they are at the bottom out of the people that record stuff, but they're not impeding the progress of the thing. I actually made a decision last month where I was going to wait until the midpoint of November to, without saying anything, because I'm going to treat them the way they treat me. They don't announce that they're leaving, they just leave. I was going to unceremoniously fire them midway through the month if they didn't record the stuff. And about maybe a day before the deadline, they sent all of it, and I was like, "Wow, you just narrowly." It's like you guys know the thing from the carnival where they have a little guy on a unicycle and he's on the little rope and he's able to be on the rope with the bike or the unicycle. That's what they did. They just very thinly escaped being removed from this. And that's not because I have some malicious intent or want to see them fail in their efforts, but they're not making any effort. It doesn't take 3 months to record two scripts. It doesn't, I'm sorry. Especially if we know for fact that you didn't record it because you didn't feel like you had to. I mean, like, talk about a little diva in that particular case. But, people are like that. I'm more upset by this person because they literally didn't have to do anything for months except allow me to contact them, and they just chose to act like a piece of trash for no reason. Also, with all due respect, Music Fiend, as far as this little logical thing and laughing it off, I'm kind of, and this is just like a little side, but I'm really getting sick of being told to get over when people act stupid. Uh, Again, when I do a project and I want to get people to voice act for it, them being illogical is not just something I can laugh off. They're directly hindering that ability because they're not doing the damn voices that they signed up for. The same thing with the chick stuff. If I'm a guy who wants to get married or wants to do something that requires a broad and she is flaky and does want to and does illogical things, I can't just go, well, that's just another old whore that won't do something. Huh, 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 huh. No, it directly impacts something serious that I'm trying to do. God, I'm just so tired of hearing that. There was another person who a few months ago. That's why I said I'm almost at the point of just terminating streams because people are not writing anything that makes any sense. I had one person who came on 2 streams in the last, I think, 3 weeks talking about you need to get to 1,000 subs, you can be monetized, because he's like of the belief that the monetization thing on YouTube isn't a joke. You need to get to 1,000 subs. Like, I've been at 1,000 subs for 2 years. What are you talking about? But again, that's just more random crap that is written that no one takes the time to actually look at and read and figure out. Oh, wait a second, that's not the case. Oh, yeah, I really don't understand what is so difficult to figure out about being sick of this nonsense. Like, I really I'm very confused as to what I am going to be blamed for now that this person has decided to do their little dumb thing. And again, the reason this gets on my nerves so much is I try to accommodate uh, all of this stuff, all these people. Oh, I have a cold this week. Do it next week. Oh, I'm working 6 days a week this week. Okay, fine. Do it the week after that. The week after this. Yeah, but the ridiculous nonsense is not just like if I buy a drink from a restaurant and the owner doesn't put it on correctly and it spills a little bit on my pants and I can wash it off, whatever. We're talking about people who are doing things that directly hinder some objective of mine that I can't just throw my hands up in the air and say, "Oh, well, that's just one person." I mean, I sat there month after month going through that stupid website to find that person. And we even had a whole discussion about how ridiculous voice actors are with signing up for stuff and not doing it. And now they're doing the exact same thing out of the blue. That's why I said what will end up happening is I'll treat my stuff the way it's treated by these people. I'm going to um, continue to give it the same effort of you draw out the hundreds and hundreds of images for each one, and then I'll just do all the voice acting myself. I'm tired of these people because I realized when I started doing, and I mentioned this before. Well, if you'd let me speak, Elliot, I'd be able to say it. I guess I'll have to just sit here and not say anything until you're finished commenting. But when I did the placeholder lines, which was a little experiment I conducted last month, where I mean, whatever you said. What are your plans after this? I'm trying to. Okay, I'll be quiet again. I'll just wait. Elliot's upset with me for wanting to respond to his question. When you don't respond, they say you're ignoring them. When you do respond, he's being treated so poorly. I tried to answer all the questions like it's a press conference, and now he's very angry. He won't type another message again. He's going to go over to TYT's channel and ask them questions, and then find out that the only time they respond is if you send a super chat. No, but I'll treat the voice acting the way it deserves to be treated, where it's 2 or 3 people that are willing to do it, and then everybody else we just pretend like you don't exist. I actually had a person who said, based off of the amount of images I can do in one day, that I could probably do 30 scripts from start to finish in a year. And I believe that because so much of my time is spent trying to worry about if a voice actor is going to record something or not, that I'm glad that that's one less person I have to worry about. Even if I think their voice was better, even if I thought it was good, I can't deal with the lack of intellect that these people have to where they get so pissed off and want to just stop speaking to someone at the drop of a hat. And I mean, like, if you saw the amount of, I did a video on this earlier in this year. I said I spoke to about maybe on that website 20 or 30, some double digit number that was past 19 uh, voice actors. And this was one of, I think, two or three that actually signaled their interest. And this was the only one who actually recorded stuff. And I was just so happy because it was literally like finding a diamond in a stack of manure. And it turns out that when you grab the diamond and you hold it up in your hand, it dissolves and is revealed to just be some ice. This promising thing that you mistook for something else. And that was my issue. I mistook this voice actor for actually being committed to the stuff they sign up for. And right now they're going on and sign up for more stuff. They're doing the usual. And I think actually, and I've said before, a lot of this stuff has to do with people not understanding what the amount of work that goes into things because they don't do it themselves. I can't draw 600 images in addition to another 600 for something else at the same time. So because of that, the particular thing they were involved with got delayed for a couple of months, and I made plans to do it either this month or at some point in the earlier part of next year when I could reasonably cut through this other project in half and then start on the other one. But they don't care about those kind of nuanced attempts to make multiple hats work. So they just sit around and get pissed off and upset for no reason. But I don't like the idea that I get blamed for something that is nonsensical, like a person deciding out of the blue, hey, I'm no longer going to bother working on this with you. It's like, yeah, but all you had to do was put your voice on there. That's it. And they just sit back and I'm supposed to just not have a problem with any of it. Like I said, I don't get paid enough or at all to even put up with a lot of these behaviors. And one of the reasons I've been able to do most of the stuff I do is by not acting in the way that these people do. And I sign up for things, I do them. When I am involved with some project or task, I stick to it. I don't act the way these people do. So I'll probably find another. I'll just do the voice myself. I'm sick of these pricks. Hopefully we can. This will be the last one of these people that acts like they're, just like they have 3 or 4 different personalities. I'm really hoping that person stops doing their little every other week. I gotta stop speaking to you, or else they're gonna get the treatment of having something recorded about them as well. Um, Again, I don't understand that they wanted to come out quicker. Well, the person is not in my state, but nice try, I guess. And people throw around the word entitled all the time. I mean, you know, I was told I was entitled for thinking that people's parents should be the ones to pay for them to go to school. I don't know who else should do it. So people, they use it. They use that word like it's candy at this point. Yeah, I'm just tired of breaking my behind to do a lot of these different projects. And when people have a much smaller part, I mean, I would happily trade being a VA over having to draw 600 images or whatever. That would be very preferable. But unfortunately, we have a lot of people who are, they don't understand what it's like to do the more intricate parts of projects. So I'll probably, again, record it myself. I'll take out their part because I don't want that anything associated with them now having to do with any of my stuff. After the way I was treated by this person, no more. We avoid them like the plague, including all the stuff they're in. I'm sick of it because every time you treat these people with any kind of humanity. Oh, you can't record all this stuff right now. Hey, that's fine. Do it next month. Oh, you have an illness, so I hope you get better. Oh, you don't want to just. They always find a way to find a problem with you. I had one voice actor who was so horrible that I literally changed the way I do the project now because I stopped waiting on them to do stuff. And I still didn't get rid of them. I just said, "Hey, please tell me when you can record this because I'm kind of I need to know since you're not really giving any kind of updates or specifying or just anything like that." And I'll still get blamed for that person not wanting to like I guess I'm supposed to jump in her skin and make her record something. Like that's how insane these people are. Like they'll find any reason to take the one person trying to make it work and somehow flip it around to be their fault. But that's why I started living the Twilight Zone because we actually have individuals who, based off of their reasoning skills or lack thereof, will look at what this person did, where you have a completely normal interaction with someone uh, month after month, and all of a sudden just randomly cut them off, and then I'll get blamed for that. There's no inciting incident. There's no, yeah, I can't. You remember Baby from GT where he could like enter bodies? I can't do that. I can't fly to their state and I don't know, grab them and say, hey, you better record this. Well, they didn't seem like one a couple of months ago. That's what's weird. That's why I said I don't trust people online anymore. They will turn on you in a heartbeat. Damn. Like if I put up and I'm not only one of the main reasons I'm not doing this is because I don't have I'd have to edit their name out of the Discord messages. But if I showed you what the stuff they wrote to me, you would think this was just like any normal person. And I told you the last message I sent them, they put a heart emoji. Like they either they're a really good actor or they were like so methodical. They were like, I'm gonna put this nice emoji on his thing, and then all of a sudden unfriend him in a few months. It was so weird. I mean, damn. And they clearly want to be a voice actor because on their profile they're still auditioning for stuff, which is how I found out that they are like purposely now trying to act like I've got some disease or whatever, like I'm gonna give them AIDS through the computer. So, like this person gets to go around and act like nothing happened. I'm just supposed to sit here and not be pissed off over it, which is why when you said move on, I'm like, well, I can't do that if them not doing this stuff directly impedes my thing. But again, this has taught me that I have the few people that actually will record stuff I'll work with. The rest of them, I'll basically thumb my nose at and stick a middle finger in front of. And maybe I should just do the entire was it like a season of it? Just do the whole season where it's just me and this other voice actor doing everybody, and then the rest of them can. I might put up like an audition thing after that in like a year or so, whenever I actually finish these. Because again, these people are not going to get attached to something. They have to like I guess see it come out over and over again and know it's a continuous thing. But like my thing is, and this is a point I made before about you have these Johnny come latelys. If I do get up to let's say 13, 14 of these, I probably won't even want any of them to replace me because, or to actually try to do it at that point. Because I will say, where the hell were you when I was approaching over almost 2 dozen VAs to do this, and all of you tucked your tail and ran for the hills. So that, with that being said, this will eventually come out. I am disappointed by this development because, again, when you think you finally have someone willing to work on this stuff, they turn on you, and that's why I said I don't trust people. That's why when I did the stream on what was that Wednesday, I was mentioning how I didn't trust the subscribers to either share the stuff to get on Patreon, like none of that, because I know how flaky, how tight pocketed, how uncommitting a lot of people are to someone, and how very quickly I'll get blamed for those character traits of theirs. So that's why with the place I was at, I didn't tell any of the people off. I didn't. Basically, I made sure there was always a back door for me to return over there if I couldn't sustain the current circumstance that I'm in. It looks like I'll have to go back over there, but it won't be me, groveling and, oh, please take me back, please take me back, because I made sure that that type of scenario didn't take place by not telling these people off, even though I really wanted to. And that goes back to my whole thing of how I do think things out ahead of time in many circumstances, because again, the people around me are not trustworthy. Like I can't even get people to click a like button, much less donate. People don't really stick to their word, or at the very least try to stick to their word. Well, I'm aware of that, but I try to stick to mine. If something doesn't come out in a week or two, it will come out eventually, unless I'm deceased. So that's that. This voice actor lost their mind for no reason. They're now a pariah to me. I don't ever want to see any mess, and I probably won't because they have me blocked on like one of the few websites I even use. I am from this point forward going to go out of my way to not recruit any more VAs because there is something seriously wrong with those people. For every one or two that will do their stuff, there's like 10 flaky ones just waiting around to screw something up. I remember I made an entire EP with someone. I didn't really like how their tracks came out. I still fleshed it out and did all the promotion because the other dude desired. Yeah, people don't hold their end of the bargain, so you wouldn't get that if it was the reverse, probably. But I'll see if what the content for this week will be, depending on if I can record this stuff and not get pissed off further by the develop. I'm so tired of the flakiness. Like the same week where I find out this VA that I had for months, in on good terms with unfriends me. Yeah, I'm good. Again, I just said no longer. I'm not looking for anybody else. It's just going to be me doing it all now. I'm finished. But the same week that I find out this VA just unfriended me out of nowhere and blocked my thing after having this cordial interaction, it's the same one where this person schedules to speak to me on Thursday, and then a few days prior when it actually occurs, they disappear. And this is like the third or fourth time they've done that, where they'll just uh, get depressed out. And this is someone, by the way, who's done that multiple times over the course of 1 month. Like, okay, this is kind of like a pattern, and when the pattern starts to screw up your interaction with other people, maybe you should fix it. And if you don't, you tell the person to screw off or piss off or go away. But like that's your issue, and I don't care enough to even sit there and try to argue with them or debate it. I just think it's ironic that you come to me trying to start some friendship or whatever the hell, and then it ends up failing because you won't even sustain it. That's like me proposing to some woman, and then about maybe 2 or 3 weeks into the marriage, I'm like, I think we should get a divorce. Like, idiot, you're the one who wanted to be married in the first place. But hey, that's how they roll. This way this week, this way the next week, and then you get the blame for it one way or the other. But that's why I said voice actors, the chick stuff, it's all connected. It's all about people turning on you and being flaky and having 8 personalities and just get sick of it. So, with that being said, I'll see if I can do a live show tonight. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Bye.